Hello and welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. The breaking news is that Claudio Ranieri has been sacked as manager of Fulham, and it brings to an end a really disastrous appointment. It never really worked for Ranieri, and it's been a really dismal appointment. What he did with Leicester was an unbelievable achievement, but this has gone the total opposite. Total opposite, and he has been relieved of his duties. I have a Fulham Facebook page on Facebook, and there was a lot of people that did no longer want him. There was chants in the away end and the home end of Ranieri out, and this is something that was inevitable, and he has indeed been sacked. So he came in November replacing Jokanovic, and he had 17 games in charge of Fulham. He won just 3 of those games, 3 draws and 11 defeats. He did make them a lot tighter, but they still conceded a lot of goals, but nowhere near as bad as it was. They were still losing games heavily, and they've only won once since the turn of the year. That was that 4-2 win over Brighton, and it's just never really worked. He's made things a lot more boring, and at the end of the day, if you're losing and you're boring, then you're not making anyone happy. At least if you're entertaining, then that's something. But it's just been an awful appointment, and he has indeed been sacked. So they lost 2-0 against Southampton on, I think it was Tuesday night, and that was the end, or Wednesday night rather, and that was the end of their reign. In comes Scott Parker as caretaker manager. He has replaced Claudio Ranieri, and that is very, very interesting indeed. They've got a little bit of the old route last season that West Brom took. They've gone with somebody that knows the club very well, who's been about the club through playing and through coaching for a while, and it's very similar to Darren Moore, and Darren Moore almost kept West Brom up, and that seemed a unbelievable unreal at the time. So Scott Parker obviously played a lot of football with Charlton, Chelsea, Newcastle, West Ham, Tottenham Hotspur and Fulham. He played for England as well, and he'll be taking temporary charge. And he's been in charge of the coaching and things like that. Does it say since 2018? Before that, he was at Spurs. Ranieri will always be remembered for the biggest Premier League shock in history, taking Leicester City to the title. But besides that, he hasn't really done overly well. In recent times, he struggled with Nantes over in France. And then, Fulham, it's just been an absolute disaster. I personally think Fulham are down, and maybe it was a step too far for them. They spent a hell of a lot of money, but I'm not sure they spent it wisely, in my opinion. I think several signings are very good. Mitrovic is a top quality signing. I think Alfie Mawson, he's been in and out the side, but he's very good. Vieto, I think, was a bad buy. Timothy Fosu-Mensah, once again, not the best. But hopefully Scott Parker can rejuvenate this Fulham side and maybe bring a better style. At least at the end of the day, if they go down watching some decent football. It's just been an absolute disaster of a season, unfortunately, for Fulham. They never really got going. They never really, got any momentum. They haven't won any games in a row. The most points they've picked up in 3 is 5 instead of, and that's not good enough if you want to stay up. They're down, in my opinion, which is a shame, because I really liked their style of play in the Championship last year, and it hasn't really materialised this season. Jokanovic obviously leaving dealt a big blow. But at the end of the day, they need to regroup and try and go again. They still have games to play, and it's not like a done deal that they're definitely down. If they started picking up some points, then they could maybe make it a little bit interesting, if nothing else. I think they will go down, though, unfortunately, for Fulham. But at the end of the day, they have a lot of good players there. And, you know, they have Sessegnon, who's a very good player. They have Kevin McDonald's a quality player in the Championship. Alexander Mitrovic is a good player. Tom Kearney. You know, these players will be good enough in the Championship to have another promotion push. And that is something to consider. You know, the likes of Jean-Michel Seri, I don't think they'll be able to hold on to him. It would be insane if he was playing in the Championship linked with Barcelona last season. But they have a lot of good players, and maybe another season in the Championship for them to rebuild their defence, get a lot more better quality into their defence would be good. But I think they will go down. But it's all about having a little bit more pride and maybe making themselves a little bit more entertaining. I think they'll go, but I think this is the right decision. The fans weren't happy. They're going down, and they might as well change and twist again and try and make something happen. Because at the end of the day, if you just accept it, then you know, what's the point in the fans turning up? But I think they've made 110% the right decision. Ranieri, this appointment did not work whatsoever. I thought it was a decent appointment. I thought we'd get him a lot more solid, but I was wrong. You know, at the end of the day, Fulham just an awful appointment, and one that never really works. I did have a few doubts, but I don't think there's anyone that would really take on the job at this time. You know, being so far away from the rest, being 10 points behind, being in, you know, March tomorrow, I think that nobody else is taking this. I think they've done the right decision by giving it to Scott Parker. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, particularly if you're a Fulham fan, so get them into the comments. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe if you're new. But thank you so much for watching. My name is Mike, and I will see you soon.